We are quite disappointed as an organisation. We went out looking for a pilot succession scheme, and unfortunately that has not been delivered. Only 7% of our young farmers are under the age of 35, which is quite worrying. We do welcome the tax measures and the extension of the consanguinity relief, but we are rather disappointed as an organisation today. By today not delivering the succession scheme, we have literally just filled a plane to Australia.
My first reaction is there doesn't seem to be a lot in this budget for farmers. You know what I mean? It's more or less a continuation of the existing funding that was in place. You know, we have an overall announcement, but very, very little detail on schemes. My understanding is, you know, that there is somewhat of an increase in the payment for the Yo welfare scheme, you know, which would be very, very important. It's something we've been seeking for the last year. And on the tillage incentive scheme, you know, the scheme that the Minister announced last week, again, it's only my understanding that there will be a top up there, which is absolutely needed. The detail is so sketchy. Look, I know it's early, and all we're seeing is an overarching figure for agriculture and no detail in it. I suppose on the taxation side, I suppose one important change there is the residential zoned land tax, which was to kick in on 1st January 2024, which is a 3% tax on farmland that is zoned adjacent to towns and villages. That is going to be postponed until the start of 2025. So at least, you know, we have some time on that again. You know, we've clearly pointed out, you know, this is a very unjust tax as well. And I suppose a concern in the taxation is around leasing out of land. And again, what has been mentioned there by the Minister is you would have to own that land for a 7-year period. So again, you know, what I would be concerned around there is, you know, the transfer of land from father to son or daughter, or you know, from parent to son or daughter. You know, we need clarity around that as well.
This budget, obviously, it lacks a lot of detail, but particularly in terms of agriculture. We've heard that there's a 1.9 billion announcement of funding to agriculture in the sector, and that's important indeed to sustain 170,000 jobs that the agri-sector supports in Ireland. But I suppose to welcome, with positivity, the first definite pieces are that we have brought to our attention are the residential land zone tax, that the consultation period on this tax has been extended for the year. Certainly the extension of the consanguinity relief tax for young farmers in particular, which supports the transfer of farms, that has been extended for 5 years. That's very welcome. Then we read in the budget document today that there's €700 million being directed to agri schemes such as ANC, forestry, organic farming, but there's a lack of detail here. We have heard that there's going to be 1.2 billion of direct payments to farmers, but again, we don't know yet where these payments are actually going to go.
We won't know the minute detail of the agricultural budget until the Minister has his press conference. But I'm told there's going to be a separate budget there for tillage farmers to take slurry from derogation farmers to have slurry accommodation on farm. That's going to be a help for farmers who have gone into derogation to try and, you know, be able to keep their stocking rate intact. Also, I understand that there's going to be a separate ceiling for farmers to increase their storage on farm, separate from TAMS 3. Again, that would be a great help for farmers to increase their storage. And, you know, to be able to manage your slurry better is key to improving water quality. So I'd welcome these initiatives. I'm also told there's going to be a significant increase on the oat subsidy, and that's going to increase significantly as well. And there's also an increase in the circular cow. I think it'll receive the minute details to the Minister. We won't put figures on what they will be, but I think people will be very happy with those increases. We can't underestimate the extension of the allowances that are there as regards stamp duty, inheritance, etc. And, you know, they've all been extended again. Constitutional relief is guaranteed to 2028. So they're all hugely beneficial for family farms.
The new development in relation to the TAMS and allowing slurry to be exported off farms to tillage farms, I think the TAMS grants toward that is a positive. I think the extension of the reliefs for succession is positive, and the fact that that's extended for 5 years is probably more than which it normally would be, which I think is very important too. However, the move to move the age limit up to 70, I think, is something of a negative, because it's actually it's actually discouraging earlier transfer of farms. Support towards the sheep sector is badly needed. I think it's in the region of €20 a ewe, which will be very significant. I think it's one sector that really needed it. There's a certain amount of increase in the suckler cow premium as well, and I think that's probably needed as well. So them two are welcome.